while Tom's eyes were brown as his hair. Jamie was skinny, as if he'd grown too fast, while Tom was square and solid. Jamie was pale as a china doll, whereas Tom was all aglow. Lucy knew these were the boys who were coming to live in the little cottage next door. The boys with the dead father. She turned over the thought in her mind like a shiny new penny, and imprinted on its reverse side she found the fact of her own dead mother. She watched as the boys became accustomed to the relative darkness of the wide hallway and caught sight of her on the stairs above them. When their gaze met hers, something seemed to catch in her throat, and an unfamiliar shiver ran through her. She set aside her doll and stood up. Later, they told her that rays of sun from the landing window illuminated the blonde curls which encircled her head. But all she would remember was the way they stopped and stared, as though she was a vision, as though she could become the fixed point in the turmoil of their lives, as though she would save them. Hertfordshire, October 1936. Chapter 1. Lucy was chopping the top off her boiled egg when Tom burst into the dining room through the French windows. His hair was standing on end as if he'd just sprung out of bed, and he was waving a newspaper in his hand. Lucy laid down her spoon and glanced nervously at her father, Captain Nicholson. He wouldn't like this interruption to his breakfast. "It's come!" yelled Tom. "The call has come!" Lucy's father looked up from deboning his kipper and wiped his moustache. "Good morning, Thomas," he said dryly. Tom stopped momentarily on his dash round to Lucy's side of the table and seemed to notice Captain Nicholson for the first time. "Oh, yes, good morning, sir." He knelt by Lucy's chair, stabbing the newspaper with his forefinger. Look, the call has come at last. I'm going." Lucy pulled the Daily Worker from his grasp to keep it still enough to read the call for volunteers to fight for the Spanish Republic. The headline made her insides lurch with fear. She turned to him, taking in his conker brown eyes, bright with excitement, and his whole face alight with joy. How could something which gave him such pleasure feel like a stone in her stomach? "Going where?" asked Captain Nicholson, giving up on his kipper. Lucy laid a warning hand on Tom's sleeve, but he shrugged her off and leapt to his feet, pacing around the room, unable to keep still. "To Spain! I'm going to Spain!" "Oh, no, you aren't!" Captain Nicholson snapped. "Ridiculous boy. Sit down." His eyes flashed to Lucy, who was moving to Tom's defence. "And you, be quiet." Lucy subsided, biting back her words for now, biding her time to intervene on her friend's behalf, as Tom slowly pulled out a chair and sat on it, laying the paper on the table in front of him. Lucy saw her father disapproving. His unshaven chin, unbrushed hair, untucked shirt and sweater awry. Tom had obviously hastily yanked on some clothes and run round from next door to tell her the news as soon as the paper had been delivered. She loved his impulsiveness, but wished he'd checked to see if she was alone. Captain Nicholson laid down his cutlery. "Now then, what's all this nonsense?" Tom leaned forwards. "It's not nonsense. It's really not. This is my chance to do something to help. It's what I've been waiting for." Lucy could see her father's face starting to redden as he struggled to maintain control. "I'm not certain I get your drift." Tom brandished his copy of the Daily Worker again. "It's a call to go and join the international brigades, to fight Franco. I've got to go." Admiration ran through Lucy, turning almost immediately to a twinge of sickness at the thought of Tom hurling himself into such danger. Captain Nicholson jabbed the table with his finger to emphasise each word. "You will do no such thing." Tom ran his hand up through his